Today's case is going to be slightly different because it is very much an ongoing investigation in the town of Hendersonville, Tennessee. And while they're all serious, this one takes on a whole new meaning as it is very active at this time. The internet has been fueled with suspicion and speculation, but today we will try to focus on what is known and what has been shared publicly by authorities at the time of this recording, and try to not further what police are calling distractions during a previous press conference. Today we are discussing the case of missing teenager Sebastian Rogers. My name is Misty Sims, and this is Beyond Reasonable Doubt. Let's dive right in. Sebastian Rogers is a 15-year-old teenager who lives in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He is currently living with his mom and stepdad, Katie and Chris Broadfoot, but he does spend a lot of time with his dad, Seth Rogers, who shares custody with mom, Katie. He is typically at Seth's house every other weekend, some holidays, and long breaks from school like spring break. Now, Seth is extremely close to Sebastian and talks to him on the phone regularly when he isn't at his home. And Sebastian is described as a smart, sweet boy who isn't mischievous in any way, nor is he a runner. He's also described as high-functioning autistic. Now, this case all kicked off with what his mom, Katie, has described as a fun weekend, capping off on February 25th of this year. He had been out with his mom and visited with family at a local bowling alley and enjoyed what is being described as a ton of popcorn. And that evening, he took out the trash, which was part of his normal chores, and then he told his mom and his dogs that he loved them, and he went to bed around 9 p.m. Around an hour later, Katie says she heard some noise in his room, and she just yelled in there that she didn't really care what he was doing, but he needed to go on to bed. It's a school night, right? So around midnight, Katie herself went to bed, and she would get back up the following day, which was now Monday, and go in to wake Sebastian up for school around 6 a.m. Now, to any mother's horror, she said Sebastian wasn't in his bed and she couldn't find him anywhere in the house. She drove around for a while searching, and when she couldn't find him, she called Chris, who was at work, and then Chris turned around and called 911 to report Sebastian missing, which was about 6:33 a.m. Now, 12 different agencies sprang into action, and there were about 200 searchers with dogs. Helicopters are flying over, drones are going. I mean, there was a huge call to action to search for Sebastian. The TBI sent out messages on their X profile to folks to, have folks in the area start checking their sheds, check your property, anywhere that he could be hiding. And in all, they covered approximately a 5-mile radius, but no Sebastian was found. Well, on Tuesday, the TBI issued an Amber Alert for Sebastian based on some additional info that they had gathered in the search, and then with the changing weather that was coming in, it was starting to be critical to find him because they had no idea if he was sheltered or even clothed for the colder temperatures, because it said that he left the house barefoot because all of his shoes were accounted for. Now, by this point, they expanded their search even farther. They've combed through the Proudfoot home multiple times. They're asking neighbors to check ring cameras, security cameras, all those types of things. And the Proudfoot family themselves, they didn't have those type of monitoring devices, but, a lot of the neighbors did, like most of us do now. And the police have all that footage, but as of right now, they've said that that footage doesn't provide any information or images, or at least nothing that they're sharing, outside of what looks to be a couple of people with a light source moving in and out of frame that kind of went wild on the internet. A lot of people assumed that it was flashlights, and this could be proof that somebody was outside of Sebastian's house. But the Proudfoots, they gave an interview and said that nothing being assumed on that video or about that video was accurate. And Seth Rogers told Fox 17 reporter Caitlin Miller this was nonsense, basically, because the lights were probably that of the trash collectors. Now, teams continued to search the area, and they even searched a Kentucky landfill where trash from the neighborhood that the Proudfoots lived in would have been empty. But the police have been clear this is just part of their normal routine, as was checking some small bodies of water that they had drained, and searched. And from what I understand, those are like 3 to 4 foot deep, like retaining ponds and such. Now, Seth, he's been out there, boots on the ground, or whatever you want to call it, searching every day. If you follow any of the search teams on YouTube or interviews that he's done, like on Nancy Grace, you probably have seen him actively involved in searches. He's asking people, if you have information about Sebastian, let us know. And then, of course, begging for Sebastian to just please come home. And he's also been very cooperative with police and investigators. He's so sweet. He's wearing a t-shirt with Sebastian's information right on the front of it, kind of like a walking, talking missing child billboard. So this is a concerned dad, right? He told Fox 17 in Nashville that he very much has hope that his son is still alive, and he is out there searching for him everywhere. Now, in an interview that went a little wild with Nancy Grace, the Proudfoots confirmed that they were going to be leaving town. They said that Chris needed to return to work, and also that they had been receiving a lot of threats, so they were just going to go. Now, Nancy asked Katie if she wasn't concerned about leaving home while Sebastian was still missing, and Katie said, of course I am, but I have no idea where he is, and he could be anywhere. Well, this movement to leave town, of course, just ignited speculation of involvement, and that spread like wildfire on, the internet and people gossiping and talking. But in a press conference on Tuesday, April 2nd, so yesterday is the time of this filming, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation spokesperson Susan Nyland said that the Proudfoots have pretty much done anything law enforcement has asked of them. And she said that there is not any indication of any kind of criminal element involved, but they were going to keep their options open. And they don't know what happened. They don't know where Sebastian is, so they're pursuing any and all avenues. And in that same presser, Chief Deputy of Sumner County Sheriff's Office, Eric Craddock, said that they are investigating every lead and are hoping for the tip that leads to, bringing Sebastian home. They've received over 340 tips, but nothing has really been actionable and found him yet. Now, they also cautioned any spreading of misinformation on social media or bogging down the tip line with these types of distractions. Chief Deputy Craddock also confirmed that a pair of glasses were found in the search. However, this morning, Wednesday, April 3rd, they did confirm that these did not belong to Sebastian. Craddock also went on to say that right now there is no foul play indicated at this time, but they're not ruling it out. Now, as of the time that I'm recording this, which is Wednesday, April 3rd, News Channel 5 in Nashville reporter Nick Barris has learned that there is a large new response by professionals with boots on the ground looking for Sebastian. This is coming just one day after that press conference where law enforcement said that they would be reinvigorating search efforts. It's being reported that dozens of professional searchers have been called in by Sumner County EMS to canvass an entire area that ranges from about 6 to 10 miles in radius. And these professionals are including sheriff's deputies, firefighters, tons just coming in from various counties across Middle Tennessee to help. And the news channel also noted that there are 2 boat utility vehicles also in the staging area. The reported search plan is for them to re-canvass the area that they've already covered, looking for anything perhaps that was missed during the original search or something new that may have appeared. And they were estimating that this was going to take all day today, Wednesday, April 3rd, and possibly into Thursday, April 4th, the morning time. Now, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office has released a statement via their official Facebook page that said that they are searching the area of Long Hollow Pike, but there were no new leads or evidence to indicate the search will be immediately fruitful. However, they are committed to leaving absolutely no stone unturned in their mission to locate Sebastian and bring him home safely. So, what do I think? Well, I'm worried for Sebastian because we have to assume he could be out in the elements without his shoes, exposed to who knows what else as a young, vulnerable teenager in the world. But I want to try to remain optimistic because he is still out there. So there's always a chance and a hope that we could have a positive outcome here. I mean, look at Elizabeth Smart, right? She was missing for quite some time, and that she got to come home. Now, I know there are a lot of opinions on mom and stepdad right now, and I am absolutely guilty of these myself. But right now, I think the main focus should just stay on getting him home. So please continue to keep Sebastian's name and photo out there as the search to bring him home continues to push forward. If you see the Proudfoots, let's just remain respectful because they are not suspects of this time, nor is anyone else that's been made public. And I know that's hard. I mean, it's hard not to think, certain things when interviews and stories, they conflict and such. But, fussing and cussing at them or anyone is not bringing him home, right? And I'm talking to myself as much as anybody else because to be 100% transparent with you, when I read into this case and started really hearing about it, my immediate thoughts were Letitia Stalk. So I get it. But let's just try to focus on facts that we know and hopefully bring him home safe and sound, and we'll sort the rest out later, right? So here is the flyer from the TBI. Please screenshot it and share it everywhere you can. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is 15 years old and is 5 foot 5 inches tall and weighs about 120 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes, and he has been missing since February 26th. If you have seen him or you have any information on his whereabouts, please call the Sumner County Police Department at 615-451-3838 or call the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND, or you can email them. Email tips to tbi@tbitn.gov. Let's get him home, guys. And Sebastian, if you're hearing this and you can call one of those numbers or send an email, please do, or have someone call for you, because there are so many of us praying for you and to get you back home. Thank you for being here, guys. And don't forget to click that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll know when I post new content. And please stay safe out there and stay sweet, my cupcakes. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.